admit it, Ms. Jackson. I made a mistake. You used the word cheating, and then you cleaned it up and said a mistake.
I had gave oral sex to this person.
What man will believe that she only gave you oral sex?
Exception.
I know that the date was February 21st in my mama's house, in the bathroom. She was in the mood. She go to the bathroom. I go to the bathroom after. That's the date that we had.
Your Honor, I remember us having sex at my house, not his mother's house.
You know, he said some things, and that's when the picture of the junk came through. I found some, pictures as well, nudes, he said.
If I sent them to anyone, I sent them to you. I'm a bigger girl. I don't take naked pictures just for anybody.
Buckle up for a wild start. Ms. Reeves opens her case, stating her intention to prove that Mr. Silva is the biological father of her son, Legend. The judge confirms the purpose of the hearing, setting the stage for the legal proceedings. Stick around, courtroom drama is just getting started.
Ms. Reeves, you are here today to prove that the defendant, Mr. Silva, is the biological father of your 7-month-old son. You were involved in a paternity case on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta court of your sister, who took a DNA test to prove paternity of her child in court with your own case.
Can you feel the tension building? Ms. Reeves describes the strain on their relationship due to Mr. Silva's paternity doubts, explaining how it has impacted their lives. She expresses her frustration with his continuous questioning about Legend's paternity and her hope that a DNA test will resolve these issues and allow them to move forward without further conflict. Just wait, it spirals into more chaos from here.
Well, it's affected everything in my life. We've been on and off for about 3 years. Every single time I turn around, it's always, oh, are you sure that he's my baby? I'm 100% sure. Like, why do you keep asking me? Don't get me wrong, he's a good guy, but I just want us to be able to move. So I feel like the best way for us to be able to do this, for us to go ahead and get a DNA test.
The stakes are rising, folks. Mr. Silva explains his doubts about being Legend's father, attributing them to his mistrust of Ms. Reeves. Controversially remarks that men are allowed to cheat, but criticizes women for doing the same, revealing his double standards and prompting a mixed reaction from the audience. Brace yourself. The judge is about to turn the heat up.
I just don't trust her, Your Honor. I feel like she's tricking me into believing that Legend's father. I grew up loving women, loving sex. To me, I always felt like it was okay for men to go out, have sex, come home to their family, go out, have sex, and come home, and especially with a baby, it's trying to say that I'm his father.
You won't believe what comes next. The judge challenges Mr. Silva's outdated views on gender roles, questioning his justification that men are meant to conquer. His response leads to laughter and applause from the audience as the absurdity of his statement is highlighted. Things are about to get even more unbelievable.
God created men to conquer, to overrule. A woman cannot empower men.
What are we on, Game of Thrones? What are we talking about? You said God created men to conquer, and what else?
Conquer, and women
to rule.
Cannot overpower.
Get ready for a twist. Ms. Reeves details her pregnancy timeline, explaining they were broken up when she discovered she was pregnant. Mr. Silva expresses his skepticism about the timing, correlating it with their breakup and her interactions with other men, which he cites as reasons for his doubt. The plot thickens. Don't miss what's coming next.
Well, we was broken up at the time. Immediately, as soon as I told him that I was pregnant, he was like, oh, okay, with who?
We were broken up for 4 weeks, Your Honor. I caught her texting her ex. I caught them texting multiple times. She claims they're just friends. Today, I just decided to try to go on her phone, and she changed her password on.
Here's where it gets juicy. The discussion shifts to the dynamics during Ms. Reeves' pregnancy. Mr. Silva admits to distancing himself due to his doubts. Though he was present at the birth, he recounts feeling pressured to sign the birth certificate despite his unresolved questions about his paternity. Stay tuned. The emotional roller coaster is just up ahead.
In the hospital, none but her family was there. I was by myself. I came in. As soon as Legend was born, the doctor came in the room, straight to me and gave me the paper. I didn't want to make her look bad. I felt pressure to sign.
Her whole family is around. And if you start talking about DNA tests and not signing birth certificate, it sheds a negative light on her.
The courtroom is buzzing now. As the court reviews evidence from another woman claiming Mr. Silva denied his paternity, the judge examines the credibility of his statements. Mr. Silva admits to lying to hurt Ms. Reeves, exposing his vindictive behavior. Grab your popcorn, because the drama intensifies from here.
I have proof right here. A girl, she messaged me basically saying that, they was talking. He was
Let me see that evidence.
He was her boyfriend as well. He didn't know me. I'm just
So you got a message out of the blue. He told me you were his ex and that you were pregnant, didn't know who the dad was. Did you confront Mr. Silva about it?
Yes, ma'am.
Strap in for the climax. In the climax of the hearing, the DNA test results are revealed.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Silva, you are the father.
Can you even handle this? Mr. McCormick spills the beans, revealing his utter shock upon discovering that the woman he thought was his dream girl has been gallivanting around town. He articulates his utter disbelief and emotional chaos this betrayal has brought into his life. And just when you thought it couldn't get more tangled, brace yourself.
Mr. McCormick, you say you thought found the perfect woman until you discovered the love of your life, just a serial cheater on a rampage. You say Ms. Ball is a shameless adulteress and there is no way you are her son's father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Get ready for a twist. Ms. Ball steps up, acknowledging her wandering ways, but remains steadfast that Mr. McCormick is the bona fide father of her son, Gavin. She's all in to prove paternity and clear up the murky waters of doubt swirling around the fatherhood of her child. Buckle up, because the ride's about to get bumpier.
Ms. Ball, you admit to having out on your relationship in the past, but you are positive Mr. McCormick, father of your son, and you intend to prove paternity today.
Yes, Your Honor.
You won't believe your ears with this one. Mr. McCormick dives into the gritty details of uncovering Ms. Ball's indiscretions through texts, sightings of her jumping into mysterious cars, and even videos that left little to the imagination. The emotional drain and frustration he describes are palpable. But wait, there's more scandal just around the corner.
Well, Your Honor, yeah, I found text messages, seen her getting in strange vehicles, seen videos. What haven't I found? Like, you know, there's no way that I was father. I'm starting to become numb to all this. It's getting old.
This conflict just went up a notch. Ms. Ball admits she hasn't been faithful, but accuses Mr. McCormick of blowing things out of proportion and seeing shadows. She firmly believes and defends that Mr. McCormick is indeed Gavin's dad, pointing out their uncanny resemblance. The next revelation is just moments away, and it's a doozy.
Your Honor, there have been several times I have cheated, and I've been honest with him and told him about the times I've cheated, but he's become crazy and like obsessed making up things, saying there's no way I've done all the things he said. He is the father of my son.
Think it can't get more shocking? Hold on to your seats. Mr. McCormick presents his case like a detective, complete with evidence of Ms. Ball's escapades, including detailed recounts of tailing her and catching her red-handed with other men. He brings out visual aids to paint a vivid picture of deceit for the judge. Just when you think you've seen it all, the next segment turns up the heat even more.
I brought an exhibit, Your Honor.
Please step up. Let's review that exhibit.
The first time, she said she was going to go to the gas station to meet a family member. I kind of stayed back, and then I was following her. I saw her getting to a truck. Strange guy. He was like 25 years old.
Why would you let me get in?
She said it was another family member, which I know is like 2 years old. He doesn't wear his hat sideways and...
As if we weren't already at the edge of our seats, a fiery exchange erupts as Mr. McCormick reveals his crafty impersonation of Ms. Ball to trap her in her lies, leading to a discovery of more incriminating texts and some rather explicit photos and videos. The courtroom heats up with every new piece of evidence. The tension is mounting, and what comes next will surely raise some eyebrows.
There was a time I came home from work. There was a text message on the phone. You know, texted some sexual stuff. They texted back. I texted, can we do the same thing that we did the last time we hung out? You know, he said some things, and that's when the picture of the junk came through. I found some, you know, pictures as well. Nude, she said.
If I sent them to anyone, I sent them to you. I'm a bigger girl. I don't take naked pictures just for anybody.
The plot thickens tremendously here. The conversation takes a serious turn to the implications of Ms. Ball's cheating on Gavin's paternity. Mr. McCormick voices his deep-seated fears and doubts, amplified by the dubious timing of Ms. Ball's affairs and her subsequent pregnancy. The next twist in this saga is about to unfold, and it's a critical one.
We have been together since 2012, Your Honor. You know, the relationship I've built with Gavin.
You stepped out too, so.
I'm not a saint. Babies. Gavin and I, you know, are close. I was there with her throughout her pregnancy. You know, I went to all the appointments, you know, just trying to do the right thing. I don't know. I mean, 16 months is, you know, quite, you know, it's a long time to bond.
Now, this is a key turning point. Ms. Ball confesses to multiple liaisons during her pregnancy, but insists the dots connect back to Mr. McCormick as Gavin's dad. The dialogue delves into her attempts to keep their relationship intact, despite her side ventures, and her efforts to dissuade potential fathers from staking a claim. Gear up, because what happens next will definitely shake things up.
I'm confident that it's his son.
But the problem is, it really isn't definitive because you admit to having sex with someone else in the month of May. Gavin was born in January.
When the doctor did the sonograms, he estimated that I became pregnant around June 20th. As far as the advancements of the baby adds up, and he was early. I mean, he came 32 weeks.
All roads lead to this climactic moment. verdict. The courtroom is thick with anticipation as the judge prepares to unveil the DNA test results. Both parents are on tenterhooks, their futures hanging in the balance based on what the envelope reveals. This pivotal revelation is moments away and promises to be a courtroom climax for the ages.
I want to cut that old part and move forward. I don't want there to be the cheating. I don't want there to be the arguing. I want it to be my son, Ryan, and I having a good time playing, being a mother and a father, and I don't want Gavin to have that doubt. And I do not want my child to ever have any kind of defect or issue because of something I've done in my past.
I hope I'm his father, Your Honor.
There's only one way to find out, and that's to get the results.
This is it, big reveal everyone's been waiting for.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. McCormick, you are the father.
Can you even handle this soap opera in court? Mr. Butterfield swings open the drama gates by claiming he's the father of Miss Bracknell's 2-month-old daughter. He's all in, arguing that Miss Bracknell is brushing him off as daddy because she fears the chaos it might unleash on her current family setup. He's betting all his chips that the truth will crown him as the father. Buckle up, because Mr. Butterfield is about to lay it all out.
You've summoned your ex-girlfriend, Miss Bracknell, to paternity court to prove that you are the father of her 2-month-old daughter, Cara. You say she's denying you are Cara's dad because she's worried her family will be when the results prove you are the father. Ms. Bracknell, you say there's no way Mr. Butterfield is your child's father. Is to break up the family you now have with your fiance.
Talk about a plot twist. Mr. Butterfield delves into the backstory, sharing their cohabitation and their attempts to start a family, topped with the bombshell of her pregnancy news post-breakup. He's convinced that her mysterious gift reference was indeed their child. The stakes are high, and just when you think it's peaked, there's more revelations around the corner.
Me and Mrs. Bracknell had residence together for almost a year. We did try to, have a baby together before.
So you lived together,
We did.
and you were in a relationship.
She had told me when we were breaking up, she said, "Thank you for the gift." And I said, "What gift was that?"
And it wasn't till later that you found out she was pregnant.
That is correct.
The tension is thicker than a bowl of oatmeal. Miss Bracknell stands her ground, staunchly denying Mr. Butterfield's claims, pointing fingers at him for trying to shatter the peaceful family picture she's painted with Mr. Dallas. Her denial is rock solid despite Mr. Butterfield's emotional recount of their shared past and his dreams of daddyhood. Strap in, because Mr. Dallas is about to throw a curveball with some calendar evidence.
Then you went back in a relationship with Mr. Dallas, 3 other children together. Now, when you left Mr. Butterfield and went back to Mr. Dallas, you were pregnant at that time.
Honestly, I didn't find out. I'd say 3 months after I did move out of his house because I was having irregular, so I just let it go for a minute. I'm not really a doctor person.
You won't believe this doozy. Mr. Dallas steps up with a calendar that he claims maps out the entire timeline of Miss Bracknell's relationships and the baby-making period. He's aiming to prove that the baby-making magic happened under his watch, not Mr. Butterfield's. As the plot thickens, get ready for Mr. Butterfield to hit back with a bombshell.
So this calendar dates when the relationship with Mr. Field and Ms. Bracknell ended, and when she came back. Cara was conceived in mid-September, and she was born in June. And she ended the relationship with Mr. Butterfield at the end of August. So you're saying if we count back, there's no way Mr. Butterfield is Cara's biological father.
Grab your popcorn for this comeback. Mr. Butterfield isn't buying what Mr. Dallas is selling and claims the romantic sparks were still flying between him and Miss Bracknell until October, which could line up perfectly with the baby's conception timeline. He's even ready to strap up to a lie detector to prove his point. The emotional roller coaster is just getting started, and family feelings are about to spill over.
Honestly, we were sleeping together all the way up until October 8th, the last time we had sex, because I remember. I can take a lie detector test if you want to prove it.
So you
up in the
said-
mountains, up in the hills. You don't remember that, right?
We weren't together.
Asking me for money for gas so you can go see him.
You were still having sex with Miss Bracknell till October. So although these dates may be true, they are missing.
Grab a tissue. This one's a tearjerker. The court explores the deep emotional currents affecting both men's roles in little Cara's life. Mr. Dallas pours out his heart, declaring his unconditional love for Cara, paternity result notwithstanding. As we gear up for the DNA verdict, the air is thick with anticipation.
You know what, Your Honor? I'm gonna love her the same. She's my little daughter.
She is
I'm gonna
not
raise her.
yours.
Nothing's gonna change. I love her to death, just like I do now. I'll love her the same. You know what? With this, he's actually made our family stronger than trying to push us and trying to.
That's good. I'm not trying to get her back. I'm just trying to be in my daughter's life.
Wait for it. Here comes the big reveal. The judge delivers the DNA test results, and boom.
It has been determined by this court. Cara's biological father is Mr. Butterfield.
What did I tell you?
Can you believe this setup? The plaintiff, Mr. Jordan, claims that Ms. Heim duped him into believing he was the dad of her daughter and tricked him into signing the birth certificate. He found out another dude might be the real dad. He opens a case for DNA proof to scrub his name off the birth certificate. As the story unfolds, keep your eyes peeled for the next curveball.
You claim the defendant tricked you into signing her daughter's birth certificate and being a daddy. But 2 years later, you were told that another man is her biological father. Opened your case because you want DNA are not the father so you can get your name removed from the birth certificate.
Yes, Your Honor.
Hold on to your popcorn. This gets spicy. Ms. Heim admits she played the field, but insists Mr. Jordan is the daddy-o of Caitlyn. She slams Mr. Jordan for ditching them and is dead set on proving paternity today. Buckle up, because her next move is a doozy.
Ms. Heim, you admit to being unfaithful to Mr. Jordan, but say he is Caitlyn's father. You say Mr. Jordan abandoned you and your daughter, and you intend to paternity today.
Yes, Your Honor.
This twist will spin your head. Mr. Jordan lays out how Ms. Heim spun tales about Caitlyn's paternity. Starting, he tells us Ms. Heim convinced him another guy had already cleared a paternity test, which turned out to be a big fat lie. Strap in. The ride gets bumpier from here.
She tricked me into thinking that I was the father, that Caitlyn was my first daughter. She tricked me into thinking that the other guy had done got a paternity test on Caitlyn, because she told me, oh, he already got, you know what I'm saying? That's why I know it's just you. Tricked me into thinking that family was something sacred. You know what? I think her only motive was that she was able to get away with it.
Things tangle up even more here. Ms. Heim claims she had a fleeting hookup with another man, yet she was convinced Mr. Jordan was the papa based on the pregnancy timeline. She's determined to prove Mr. Jordan's paternity to silence the chattering from pals and kin. The emotional fallout up next is a tearjerker.
You're saying that you were only having sex with one other man other than Mr. Jordan?
Just one time in April, and then I found out I was pregnant in June.
So was that potentially the window of conception?
Yes, Your Honor, but I know that Chris is the father.
But how if you had sex with the other guy?
I just know that he's the father. No, he listens to his family members, the people on the streets.
The stakes are sky high now. The chat pivots to how this paternity mess is messing with their kiddo, Caitlyn. Ms. Heim gets teary, talking about how Caitlyn wonders if her daddy still adores her, highlighting the heavy emotional toll. The upcoming revelation is a true jaw-dropper.
Because my daughter, she's old enough to realize she came and asked me, does my dad still love her? That hurt me so bad.
Now, if I will, there's never been a moment where Caitlyn and I have been around each other and she feels like I love her less than, or anything like that.
You thought it couldn't get wilder. A family brawl spills the beans that Mr. Jordan might not be Caitlyn's pop. A relative accuses Ms. Heim of fibbing about the whole dad drama, shaking Mr. Jordan to his core. The ensuing chaos is nothing short of a soap opera.
This is where it goes wrong. Her and the family member gets into like an altercation or whatnot, like an argument. And it was like they started like throwing dirt on each other. So she said something about this family member's boyfriend or whatever. So the family member turned around and was like, well, why you ain't told Chris that it's not Caitlyn's dad? That moment, it was just like, I was more in shock than it, because at the end of the day, it's just like, it's very funny, but you know, you can say whatever.
Here's where the plot thickens. The court reviews evidence of Ms. Heim's trickery, including snaps of Caitlyn cozying up to another man, sparking more doubts about her earlier tales and the little one's paternity. Mr. Jordan's shock at being kept in the dark will make your eyes pop. The courtroom drama intensifies next.
Of the other guy and my daughter, and like having moments together or pictures of.
Wait a minute! Caitlyn's 2 years old, you think you have a daughter and the girl, you got a good life. And they start going off on one another.
And then like everything just comes right out right then. And as you can see right here, Your Honor, like I don't like to say people look alike, but I'm like, it's a lot of resemblance here.
You'll want to sit down for this one. Mr. Santavius Knight enters the scene to spill his side of the story. He argues Ms. Heim hinted he might be Caitlyn's biological father, contradicting her earlier claims and adding layers to this paternity puzzle. The emotional climax just around the corner is a must-watch.
There are pictures of you with Caitlyn where you put in a cap that this is me and my baby Kate, where you are referring to this little girl as your daughter. Do you believe Caitlyn is your daughter?
Yes, that's my baby. She told me when she got pregnant, she like, I'm pregnant. I'm like, what you telling me for? She like, well, it's not Chris, because me and Chris been together a year and a half, and we ain't got pregnant. Soon you touch me, I get pregnant.
Grab your tissues, folks. Judge Lake presses Ms. Heim to face the music about not knowing who truly is Caitlyn's dad. The DNA verdict drops.
It has been determined by this court. The biological father is Mr. Jordan.
Strap in for this roller coaster. Miss Bosley steps up to the plate, dragging along a suitcase full of doubt about her son being the dad of Miss Jackson's 3-month-old Maverick, despite his name sitting pretty on the birth certificate. She spills the beans about possible other daddies in the picture, hunting her son jumped the gun by claiming paternity too soon. And trust me, the next part is a real kicker.
You and your son have petitioned the court for a DNA test because you are certain father the defendant's 3-month-old son, Maverick, and there are 2 other possible fathers. You say your son made a young and dumb signing the birth certificate, and you need today's paternity result to get his name off of it.
Yes, Your Honor.
Buckle up for this confession. Miss Jackson drops a bomb by admitting she played the field, but swears on her favorite lipstick that Mr. Bosley is the real deal daddy to Maverick. As the judge digs deeper, Miss Bosley is all mama bear, vowing to shield her son from a lifetime of daddy drama. And oh, just wait till you hear what's coming up next.
Ms. Jackson, you admit to cheating with another man, claim to be certain that Mr. Bosley is Maverick's biological father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Hold the phone, things are getting spicy. Miss Jackson takes us back to the fast and furious start of her fling with Mr. Bosley, which went from 0 to let's have a baby quicker than a microwave dinner. But then, doubt creeps in faster than a cat on a hot tin roof, leading her right into another man's arm. And the plot thickens even more in the next snippet.
Well, my testimony is, in the beginning, we were working together, and he was starting off like, oh, I love you. Do you believe in love at first sight? And then, well, the next day we was talking, and then we had sex. He was talking about, you know, the kids and all of that. And then I asked for a break because we were moving too fast at the beginning.
You're not gonna believe this. Just when Mr. Baisley thought he might be the dad, Miss Jackson admits to a little side hustle during their speed dating phase. This twist throws a wrench in the works, mixing personal mess-ups with the legal jigsaw of who's the daddy. But hang tight, the next revelation is even juicier.
At the time, I was fine with that because we wasn't really together. We was just talking. We didn't never fully get together, and because I just wanted to make sure, you know.
Exactly, because you weren't fine with it. You have admitted, Ms. Jackson, I made a mistake. You used the word cheating, and then you cleaned it up and said a mistake.
I had gave oral sex to this person.
What man will believe that she only gave you oral sex?
Get ready for the waterworks. Miss Jackson opens the floodgates with a tearjerker about her own daddy issues, fearing little Maverick might end up in the same boat. It's a raw gut punch moment that shows just how deep this paternity puzzle cuts. The emotional roller coaster is far from over.
He denied me too, and it hurts. I don't want my son to grow up like that without his dad in the picture, because I know how it feels and I have my daddy issues, and growing up is hard.
And the plot thickens. Miss Bosley throws a curveball into the mix, presenting texts that might point to another contender for the title of Maverick's dad. This revelation sends everyone on edge, waiting with bated breath for the DNA drumroll. And believe me, you'll want to stick around for the big reveal.
Your Honor, he sent me that picture, and immediately I was like, that's not your son. This made me think twice.
And Mom, once you got that picture, you believe other man is the father. You submitted the messages you saw.
See, look.
And this is between Ms. Jackson and the man you believe is the father.
The moment of truth has arrived, and it's a doozy. The courtroom holds its breath as the judge declares,
it has been determined by this court. The biological father is Mr. Bosley.
Can you believe what just went down? Mr. Muhammad opens the court drama with a bang, insisting he's the daddy of 2-year-old Brooklyn, despite the defendant's staunch denial. He's utterly convinced that the defendant's ongoing fling with another man is the only reason she's denying him as the father. Strap in, because you won't believe the curveball coming next.
Mr. Muhammad, you are here to prove that you are the father of the defendant's 2-year-old daughter, Brooklyn. You claim the only reason she is denying paternity is because she wants to be in a relationship with other man.
Yes, Sean.
Hang on to your popcorn, folks. Ms. Walton drops a bombshell by admitting to her secret escapades with another man, casting serious doubts about Mr. Muhammad's paternity claims. She asserts with unwavering certainty that given her frequent liaisons with this other man, there's no way Mr. Muhammad could be Brooklyn's father. Her admission cranks up the drama and sets the stage for even more jaw-dropping revelations. Just wait till you hear the next part.
Ms. Walton, you say you were secretly cheating on Mr. Muhammad and had sex with other man almost every day of the month. There is no way Mr. Muhammad, Brooklyn's father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Just when you thought it couldn't get any spicier. In a plot twist worthy of a soap opera, Mr. Muhammad finds out Ms. Walton had lied about the other man being just her cousin. This revelation throws a wrench into the already complicated dynamics of their living situation, ratcheting up the emotional stakes. Brace yourself, because the revelations just keep getting wilder.
She told me that this gentleman was her cousin. I didn't think nothing of it.
That's not true, Your Honor. He's always known this.
That's the other man that she wanted to be with.
You're saying you were in a relationship.
In a relationship.
And you're saying saying you were not in a relationship when Brooklyn was conceived?
No, we was not in a relationship. We were just living together.
Talk about a tangled web. The court digs into the nitty-gritty of how Ms. Walton's pregnancy came to light, thanks to a sneaky peek Mr. Muhammad took at her phone. This highlight reels us deeper into their complicated relationship and the pivotal role that sneaky text messages play in unraveling the truth. The suspense build? Wait till you see what happens next.
The moment I found out I was pregnant, I texted the guy and I told him I missed my period. Mr. Muhammad, who was living with me, got my phone, looked at the text message.
What happened was I came home, she sleep, I looked at her phone, I started seeing a full-fledged text message about having sex, all that stuff. Y'all having a full relationship behind my back.
You can't make this stuff up. Mr. Muhammad vividly recalls the specific date and supposed location where he believes Brooklyn was conceived, contradicting Ms. Walton's version of events. This clash of memories stirs up more doubt and debate about who's telling the truth and who's just spinning tales. The air is thick with tension. Keep watching as the plot thickens.
I want to know about the window of deception.
I know that the date was February 21st in my mama's house, in the bathroom. She was in the mood, she go to the bathroom, I go to the bathroom after. That's the date that we had.
Your Honor, I remember us having sex at my house, not his mother's house.
Mr. Muhammad, is it your testimony that you conceived your daughter, Brooklyn, in your mother's bathroom on the sink?
Yes, ma'am.
Ready for the big reveal? It's the climax of the episode where the DNA results finally come in.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Muhammad, you are the father.
Yes. I told you, I know.